I guess I'll be taking over here, and I am taking the first bullet for the team
What,
for this
dude?
season.
Are you
What do
Spire?
you
Are you?
mean?
And I am covering the one of the stuff that has been running around on social media, has been hot on social media. I'm not sure if I would say in a good way, but it is remonster. It is the web novel, I guess. Yeah, it's the web novel that was that kind of gained a proper following on Alphapolis. Became a light novel later, I think. Got a manga adaptation. It became like a web manga, I think, off of one of Alpha Police's kind of manga divisions. I think Alpha Manga or whatever it's called. Became a manga adaptation. I think it became quite popular through the manga adaptation, and then now it's finally got an anime. So this is the I think the light novel was or web novel was yeah web novel original creator was Kanekiru Kogitsune. The light novel illustrations was done by an artist called Yamada. Um, the manga was helped drawn by Kobayakawa Haruyoshi, and again, the publisher and stuff like that for all these like web manga and whatever stuff was by Alphapolis. So the anime was produced by Studio Dean. Yes, that Studio Dean. They in this version or in this anime, they're essentially leading a bunch of subcontractors in tow, like a bunch of smaller subcontractors. Uh, and they also hooked along some of their daughter companies, their subsidiaries. I'm pretty sure these are subsidiaries of Studio Dean rather than actual divisions. So one of the subsidiaries is Danny Animation, which is their studio in China, as well as Dean Animation Studios. So I believe that's probably the main one heading a lot of like the art, main art, some of the in between stuff, like kind of looking over that. Where as the main studio dean is probably just heading general production, like staffing and stuff like that. So some of the recent I mean, most of the recent Studio Dean stuff has mainly been them milking A, their Log Horizon stuff, B, their
Horizon sales exist? I didn't know that.
yeah. Yeah, I was pretty surprised when I looked at it too. They are also milking their continual Sorcerer Stabber Orphan sequels, or I guess like the not sequels, but like the different like arcs and stuff like that. Majutsu Orphan. And they worked on the most recent Seven Deadly Sins, Nanatsu no Taizai, Dragon's Judgment, and I think the only one that they've done that isn't a sequel is Sasaki to Miyano, which came out in 2 years ago, 2022. So other than that, again, they've been milking the shit out of all of these different sequels and series. So you know, this is their first new one in a long, long while. In terms of staffing, so what kind of happened was Studio Dean kind of contacted an outside pair, and this pair is quite a famous pair. It is Takayuki as director, who did uh, most famously Rosario Vampire both seasons, but
Oh
he also
yeah.
worked on stuff under Gonzo, um, which is a name I haven't heard in a hot minute these days, but that he did No Kome, also known as My Mental Choices Are Completely Interfering with My School Romantic Comedy under Dio Media. He did Love Love Alternative Total Eclipse under like a bunch, which was like a huge project with like a bunch of studios. And he also did I didn't know he did this, but it's really funny. He also did a Baby Princess 3D Paradise Zero
Based.
VA, who which if you don't know is an OVA. It's like I forget if it is it just OVAs. No, it's a wasn't it a visual novel? I don't even remember, but
Probably.
it's like a visual novel or just like a series of OVAs where like a dude comes into is like a stepchild and he comes into a house but like there are 18 to like 20 girls in the house or something like that and they're all each like a different year in age or something like that and like he's supposed to take care of all of them, and then he like max out with some of them, and it's really weird. There's literally like from baby like 1 year old all the way to like an office lady that's like 20 years old or some shit like that. It's
Yeah.
weird. Um, so he did that for God knows what why reason, and he is joined by his trusty sidekick in Yamaguchi Hiroshi, who did again Rosario Vampire with him. And so this Yamaguchi and Inagaki duo has kind of rounded up uh, a mixture of sort of veterans that have been connected to them. For instance, Takaoka Junichi, Abe Shuhei, Kondo Shinyo, who worked on, a lot of them who worked on, who worked with the duo on stuff like what is it, First Love Monster or Seiken Sky no Love, no World Break, stuff like that. I think they also hired Sakabe Go for the music. So for those of you who don't know, Sakabe Go did the music for Data Live. He did Piano no Mori. He did Digimon Adventure Try. He made the opening for the Familiar of Zero or Zero no Tsukaima Season 2 opening, or the I Say Yes opening, which is really good. He did Ghostic openings, stuff like that. He's just like a very good composer.
But is
So
he the
he
best opening? Is Who makes the best anime opening?
That's a very. I think that's an entire other roundtable discussion to be honest. But yeah, he Inagaki Yamaguchi duo hired him again. Takoge Junichi for character design, Abe Shuhei for sound director, Kondo Shinyo for director of photography, stuff like that. And they rounded up some other people from within Studio Dean itself. For instance, Kazuhiro Arai Kazuhiro as art director, and um, what was it, Kadawaki Yuka for color design. So it's like a mixture of those two types. There is not that many people. The people in like major positions are pretty minimal. Likely, again, here there was like a lack of funding compared to all the other series that they've been doing. Right? I mean, you're not going to give Remonster as much money as you are the freaking Seven Deadly Sins, right? For instance, so understandable here. But voice acting cast is again a mixture of, I want to say, uh, sort of A listers to B B plus listers ish, right? We have Kakuma Ai, who's definitely an A lister here, as one of the main heroes in Gobumi, as well as I think Ueda Kana as one of the other goblins, Gobue, stuff like that.
I've never heard of Kana Ueda before. Who does she voice?
Yeah. Just some random people, right?
Name three
um,
roles.
God damn it, bro. uh, Actually, wait. Off the top of my head, it's a little bit harder because it's like I know Tosaka Rin, Rachel, and then there's one other voice. Oh wait, no, she did. I forget which one. Which one of the voices? Did she voice a girl in Saki? If I remember correctly. Um, I forget if it was like Haramura Dodoka. Actually, I forget. But anyways, um,
Why don't you just name three Rin roles, dude?
how about not? How
Rin,
about I don't do that?
Rin,
Ishtar,
Areshkigal, and
yeah.
Ishtar, dude. Easy.
How about I don't do that? But anyways, so a mixture of B plus A listers combined with some people that have had a decent amount of roles, but they haven't had like sort of like a stellar breakout role, right? They haven't become like full A plus, like S tier listers. So you would have people like Tojo Hisako and Hieda Nene. Hieda Nene has been making some waves recently, obviously doing a decent amount of voices, but they haven't had like this wow main character, major anime, boom, she is the star now kind of role here. Um, there was also, other kind of veterans, Hosoda Kenta, stuff like that. Uh, what's interesting is the main guy, Goburo, voiced by Sato Takuya. So Sato Takuya is actually one of the least experienced of the entire sort of this voice acting cast, which is very interesting. But he does an okay job. I think there's nobody in here who's like, oh, this doesn't make any freaking sense in terms of the voice acting. I would almost say that Gobumi, done by Kakuma Ai, is probably the weirdest fit of the lot. It's a very light voice that she uses for the heroine. I'm not sure whether it fits, but it is what it is. So that's the voice acting cast in general here. Audio visuals. I'll start with the OPED, right? ED. I'll start with ED first. It is Sadame by Everdream. So Everdream is a voice actress rock unit that was formed last year, March 2023, by Matsuoka Misato and Sekine Hitomi. They do an okay job. It's like a very standard J pop and a song kind of ED. The visual quality of the ED is like the structure and like what they were trying to go for in terms of like the setup, uh, the ED storyboarding, right, is okay. It wasn't a bad idea, right? But I think the visual quality overall showed an obvious lack of funding. It looked like it was gonna do stuff, and then it kind of just became a PowerPoint. So there's only so much you can do, I think. So that was the ED. The opening, which I think has been quite the made quite the rounds on social media, right? Is called Into the Fire, and this is done by a Japanese like rapper or whatever called AK69. Apparently, he's pretty prolific, and he wrote the lyrics for this rap, and he hired two relatively famous K-pop artists in Chansung of 2 p.m. I think, and Changmin of 2 a.m. And I think in an interview, he said he was like trying to combine the awesomeness of rap and rock or some bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And so he wrote
Listen,
this.
everyone
Never been done
knows
before.
rap rock is also it's never been done before, but if it was, it would be remembered really well.
Yeah. So this the honestly the song like the instrumentals themselves are pretty mediocre, but on top of that, the rap has lyrics like fire. I think that's what the kids call it, the fire lyrics, like ding ding dong, like King Kong or whatever.
Yeah,
Banger.
bars. Okay.
And there are literally still people in the YouTube comment section saying, "Yo, I don't think you guys understand. This OP is perfectly fine." And I'm just
I
sitting there
don't think
going,
you
"This
guys
is
get it. This just flew
yeah,
over your head. All
yeah."
right.
If you
People like this,
want a good like rap in quote opening, just literally look at last season.
Mashley, yeah, yeah. But I just people people like those people in the YouTube comments justifying this opening is honestly the reason why we get shit like X
I mean,
arms.
I just don't know if I wouldn't believe that that's just like not trolling or something at that
Yeah.
point. Like,
There even the Japanese comments, people are like the English comments, some of them just said stupid ignorant stuff like, "Oh, I mean the Japanese audience can't even understand the English that well, so it doesn't the lyrics don't really matter."
bro,
Yeah,
One of the
true.
they don't even know what rap is, dude.
yeah, bro.
There are
One of the
famously
Japanese
no
comments.
prolific
Yeah, there are no
fucking Japanese
rappers in
rappers.
Japan. Yeah, yeah. One of the comments in Japanese said, what is it? Let me read this. ダサすぎて逆に中毒性が出てる神曲. So he was like, this is so fucking stupid and like cheesy and cringe that it comes all the way around and actually starts to become addicting for some reason. And like just not only that, but the visuals are also pretty mediocre. Uh, it's essentially the exact same visuals as the stuff in the episode, which the reason why I mentioned this is sometimes like the opening has more polished visuals than the anime, right? For obvious reasons. But this is pretty much straight up just from the anime, basic animations, just panning throughout all the characters, and it's like, bro, like you can't. Did you get
You
this from
didn't
Dollar
even
Tree?
bring it. You
What
didn't even
happened
bring up
here?
the most important part.
What happened?
The fucking semen drip, dude.
Oh yeah, I didn't want to mention
Yep.
that. I did.
Yeah.
It's the most
So
important part of the OP.
so at some part there's like dripping fucking white stuff, and everybody's just like, I hope that's spit you guys are illustrating, right? I
Yeah, like what
really
is
hope
that?
that's
I
spit.
still I still don't understand why that's there, but
Yeah. Um, the opening is just unforgivable, and anybody who thinks that that's a good opening, either audio wise or even like visually, it's not very good. Anybody who thinks that's a good opening is actively working to harm the anime industry because they are actively trying to lower standards. So fuck you guys. Do not say it's a good opening. Do not say it's an okay opening. It's not. It's not an okay opening. It's a bad opening.
It's the
Stop it.
best
Stop it.
opening
Stop
of
I
all
mean,
it.
time.
I don't even
Oh
think
my
I don't
god.
even think it's like even like as deep as like, oh man, like you guys are actively lessening like this or anything like that. It's just like do you guys have ears? Like do you
Yeah.
like just like come
Are
on
you
now. Like let's
listening
not
to this
be
thing?
yeah, like let's not be fucking ridiculous. Like this
And
shit
also,
sucks.
let's not say stuff like, oh, Japanese people don't know what ding ding dong like King Kong means. They don't
Yeah,
understand
bro.
this
Of
English.
course,
No.
obviously.
But yeah, OPED disappointing. Um, the
Says you.
visuals, yeah, the visuals do initially a decent job of saving sort of all the necessary space and running animation work for the battle scenes, and it generally minimizes movement elsewhere where they're like talking or doing whatever. And the character designs in the still and mainframes are okay. They're not like bad, but they're pretty standard, right? Just anime like orcs or like ikemen kind of looks. I think the veteran kind of aspects, the veteran crew that um, the Inagaki and the Yamaguchi crew kind of handle up, form together, right? Is they created a pretty prime example of how to sort of, I want to say, make do when you're not getting funded with $1 billion, right? The obviously the battle and the action and the monsters kind of being cloned in Photoshop and or After Effects and being shoehorned in. The designs and stuff like that themselves are not super impressive, but again, they make do. And some of the later battle scenes and superpower activations by the main character, stuff like that, they are just fucked up later on. There's this one example of the main I showed near this, the main character shooting, or dark as well. I like it's the main character shooting the spider web or whatever at this monster, and the way they showed the spider web silk kind of threads rushing at the monster and it's surrounding the monster is one of the most weirdest ways to animate that sort of action that I've ever seen in my life. And I've watched a lot of weird animation. So it was weird. So anyways, so that's it for the audio visuals. I'll go over the summary real quick. So Kanata Tomokui, Tomokui Kanata has been was killed in the previous world. In the previous world, he was in like this weird like world where he was just like running through and like killing people, and he had this power from his previous world called absorption, which is like a superpower that he has where he can like eat almost anything, and he can gain the traits of the thing, some of the traits of the things that he eats. So he gets killed in that world. He reincarnates as a weak goblin in another world named Goburo, uh, and he retains this previous absorption power as well as his memories. So the rest of that again is after that he just the story is him starting out with his initial sidekicks in Gobukichi, which who is essentially the wingman of all wingmans. Plus, he has a lot of strength, kind of. And Gobumi, which is his sort of first hero and first main hero and side girl, the side girl, the side bitch kind of thing, right? After that, the anime or the series is just a mixture of dungeon crawling, status windows, growth cheat, being kind to girls, sexing up the girls he was kind to. And that's really about it. I don't want to explain anymore. There's nothing to explain. That's the five things. Again, what did I say? It was like dungeon crawling, status windows, growth cheat, being kind to girls, sexing the girls up, right? That's about it, right? Yeah,
That's all
okay.
you need, bro.
Yeah, that's the isekai formula. Thanks for coming to my TED
Now,
talk.
like, I don't
So,
want to say that, like, I don't want to say that, like, Slime Tensei is, like, the least derivative series on the planet, but, like, this entire, like, opening premise literally sounds like, what if Slime Tensei guy die, and what if Rimuru's dead, and he's a goblin instead now?
yeah, pretty much. Again, the absorption. I mean, it's very. I don't really want to explain. It's like you've seen you guys. Anybody that has watched more than like or read more than two or three of these guys knows what the fuck's going on here. It's the same thing over and over again. Growth cheat, stuff like that. Except maybe with Remonster, there's a little bit more focus on sexing up the girls, stuff like that. So, that's about it. I don't want to explain more. Uh, what rating would I give it? This is, I think, the shortest review that I've given story wise. In my like 9 years of like podcasting, I think, or whatever it is, right? Uh, what Mal rating would I give it?
Yeah, this
I would
shows your
give it.
bias, dude. I think this is an unfair review.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
I
just
I
not
can't
giving it
believe
time, dude.
somebody.
You're not
Okay,
giving it breathing room.
some motherfucker uh on my solo leveling review after I had like done a 30-minute review, which is more than it deserved, by the way, on why it wasn't good. He was just like, you don't explain anything about why it was bad. You just give it a bad rating. I'm like, fuck you, actually. um, but this
Fuck
one, I'm sure.
you.
I'm sure everybody agrees.
You
I
didn't
don't need to give it
explain,
a
bro.
longer.
Listen, you didn't explain all the things
You didn't
that aren't
explain the
there.
significance of his knife that he's holding and the way he's like, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to kill him in one hit or whatever the fuck he said.
Spire,
So
did you explain the chained event?
yeah, what I forget what that was. But
Remember when he saved those that adventure group from
yeah,
other
yeah, yeah,
goblins,
yeah, 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 yeah,
and
yeah. I did. I
now
did.
they're chained in quotes. You need
Oh
to
my fucking god.
elaborate about that event.
Fuck that shit. Anyways, um, but yeah, Mal rating. Let's think about it.
Damn, that guy was right. You do not explain everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
where's your
apologize.
CinemaSins tally, dude?
Yeah. um Mal rating. Let's see. The question is, I did I give soul leveling like a 2 or a 4? I don't even remember. I think I gave it like somewhere around that, right? So the question is, do I give it I think I have to give it lower than soul leveling because the reason being is that it's about as similarly derivative and sophomoric and bad as soul leveling. But Soul Leveling's visual quality is definitely at least a step ahead, or a head and shoulder ahead. I wouldn't say a head and shoulders, but at least a half a head above Remonster for sure.
But
So
who had the better opening, Spire?
you're so right. Wait, both were sung by K-pop artists too. Fuck, you're right. You are so right, Toast. God damn it. Um, fuck. I think I would have to give this series probably a 1 out of 10. There's just like no reason to watch this series. Sorry guys. there's no point in reviewing the story. Like, what do you want from me, man? Like,
Yeah, I
guys, look,
think you're a
guys, look.
hater.
I I have a lot of guilty pleasures in Isekai, but that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna call a spade, right? I can't be like, I like Isekai, so I'm just gonna have to give this a 6 out of 10 or whatever it is. No, this series is terrible. It's a fucking 1 out of 10 at best, and the one I'm mainly giving it because uh who's doing this? Studio Dean isn't completely fucking up the visuals. So, have fun with that. That's
Well,
pretty much my review.
I like Remonster. Don't listen to Spy, listen to me. It's a pretty good series. I will say though, the anime does suck. Just read the manga and the light novel.
I don't think the manga is a noticeable improvement, but anyways, that was Remonster, done by
Who
Studio
was
D.
the real monster in the end, Spire?
Who cares, man? Yeah, it's a growth cheat, dungeon crawling isekai, and he max on the girls. That's about it. Next on
Pog.
the line.
Pog
Yeah,
champ,
and
dude.
you're saying we're not supposed to like this?
Oh,
Are
don't
you
worry,
you're
Spire.
not explaining anything,
Yeah,
Spire.
you haven't explained why I
Yeah.
shouldn't like this series.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got everything.
Oh
It's
my
got
God.
everything. It's got come in the
Yeah.
opening, okay? It's got sick
Naked dog
bars.
like King Kong. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got bars. Like Kendrick, sit down. Sit the fuck
Oh my
down.
God. Anyways, that was my review for Remon.